Welcome into the shop. I'm Kate with a little shop on Maryknoll, and this is a haul for January 29th and 30th and for the 28th because I could not help myself when I went into Mississippi on Wednesday. So this week I spent a total of $588 sourcing. And I purchased about 60 items, giving me an average cost of goods at $9.80. So let's see what I picked up. So I'm not gonna lie, that is a lot of money. I don't usually drop that type of money. Up to this point in my sourcing career, I have not spent that amount of money in a matter of 3 days. So it just so happens that this weekend, the estate sales were brimming with gorgeous items that were pretty costly. There's a few items here that cost that I paid way up for. Normally wouldn't pay those prices, but I knew that the items that I were getting were antiques. One of the items is for sure an antique, and not one of a kind. I'm sure there are others out there, but when I looked for them, I could not find anything like them. And they're authentic, which if you follow this channel, you're gonna realize that I really love authentic pieces. It doesn't mean that I don't like replicas, of antique pieces. Actually, this would be a replica of, we'll get into this, the Apothecary scale. I am not thinking that this was around in the 1700s. So, I understand that this is a replica of what it looked like, but it's a very cool piece. So, okay, well, let's get into it. I did a little bit of estate selling. I did a lot of estate selling, actually. So mainly estate selling, a tiny bit of retail arbitrage, which I don't normally do, but I couldn't resist. And I went to an antique mall in Mississippi. So without further ado, let's get into it, right? We're going to start with retail arbitrage because it's right here in my face. And the retail arbitrage that I did were these candle pairs. They are unscented. Oh, very long wicks, very long wicks. Do you see that? But they're unscented. I don't smell anything on them. So I did get them from Kohl's. They were 70% off the clearance. And then I had a Kohl's cash. So I paid about $3 for all 4 candles. So because these are not vintage, these will not be in my Etsy shop. These are definitely going to be in my eBay shop. But I'm not going to tell you all the prices for everything because I forget to tell you. And that is why I started off the video telling you what my average cost per item. So I said those cost me $3, but really if we're doing the average cost, those 4 pairs cost me $9.80. So what I did was I didn't actually do it by single item. I did what I would sell together. So yeah, those pairs cost me $9.80. Let's move on. All right, let's start with these. These were a pickup yesterday. They were beautiful. I did pay up for them, but I couldn't help myself. Between the patina, do you love patina on brass? Because I do. You can still tell it's totally brass, but it's got that lovely patina that really only age can give it. Look at that. It's like a sundial down there. And I just love the detail. And then this one. How beautiful is that? So the question is, do I sell them as a pair or do I split them? If I split them, then I have 61 items and my cost of goods go down a little bit, but I might sell them as a pair. They're obviously a pair. They go together, but not everybody wants 2 cranes. You know what I mean? Some Somebody might be like, I love this crane. I don't really have room for this crane, or vice versa. But just the artistry of this sculpture, the movement, I just think it's really beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So these are vintage, and they are most likely going up. They're definitely going to be in my Etsy shop. I don't know if they'll be in my eBay shop. So there's those. This was a pickup today. Don't know if I'm doing it as a group or single. These were so beautiful. Look at those. And then you just get a gold screw to go in the center to hang it up on the wall. The woman who had these in her house, so lovely, so lovely. She had these beautiful, like romantic, like pictures up on her wall. And then above several of the frames, she had this number. And I was like, that's a statement piece. It's beautiful. It's subtle, but this is brass, made in India. Has the sticker on the back, made in India. They are the same. They were not anywhere near each other. One was in the hallway and one was in the foyer, I believe. She just had them above her photos, like some of her pictures, her artwork. So I picked both of those up. Loved those. I'm just going to start grabbing things that are in front of me. I picked up this enamel bell yesterday. Of course, it's going to spin around here. Let me see if I can hold it for you. I just thought this was so beautiful. I love those birds. And it does have the bell on the inside, the clanger. This was really adorable. The person who had this, she actually had this portion screwed up underneath the mantle of her fireplace. And she had this bell and another enamel bell that looks different hanging. I am going to remove this and keep the ribbon, but I am going to remove that because not everybody's going to want it to be up underneath their mantle. I mean, this literally could go anywhere. So I picked up that beautiful bell. How about this? This was a pickup today. It's a blue and white floral frame from Carr. And there's no way it can either sit in an easel or it's got a tiny ribbon on back to hang it up. But I just loved it. It's a resin. It feels like a porcelain. It feels like a porcelain, and then the image was overlaid on it. So, but I thought that was so pretty. Who doesn't love a blue and white moment? Seriously, who doesn't love it? All right, so there's that. Picked up this cat today. Oh my word, look at the face. Totally vintage. Well done. It was well done. I don't know if she handmade this. You can see the stitching on the bottom, little pink ribbon around the neck. I love these. There's like just a feminine moment. I love them. And the little embroidered face. Get out of here. It's beautiful. Okay, so I picked that one up. Let's do this because it's very large. I picked this up today. Let's see if I can get in closer. So this is obviously something that I paid up for. This is actually, it's very long. It's going to be a pain to ship, but it's a print of a lithograph from Raffaello. I don't think I can show you the bottom. Can you see that? It's been professionally framed, and it is quite lovely. I'm sorry for all the glare. It is quite lovely, though. The woman had this hanging on one of those small walls in her hallway, and it was just really beautiful. So I picked this up because it's framed beautifully and the print is beautiful. So that is a print of a lithograph. All right, let me show you this. This is very heavy. This is very heavy, very ornate. Where are my Burwood fans? Do I have any Burwood fans out there? You're gonna, whew. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my word. It's so pretty. So I know that this isn't everybody's style. I get it. I get it. This isn't everybody's style, but it's some people's styles, and they're called maximalists. They're called people who love the Baroque period, the Romantic period, Italian. This is a statement right here. So it is vintage burwood. So this is a resin. And then you've got your hangers here. So it hangs in the portrait mode. It does not hang in landscape, but I had to pick it up. I went to a sale yesterday specifically for this. I saw it and I was like, stop. I know that there are some burwood fans out there. So there you go. That's for you. Okay. Let's bring it down. A little cottage core here. Here's a crocheted pillow with little nubs on it. Looks like it's kind of like a snowflake or a tulip pattern. It does look kind of like a tulip, doesn't it? Sewn around the edges. Just a really sweet cottage core pillow. Loved it. Picked it up. Couldn't resist. If I remember correctly, that pillow was $3. But technically, it was $9.80. All right. Do I have any mid-century modern fans of ashtrays? How about this one? It's a kitchen sink. It's like a bathroom sink or something. Maybe it's supposed to be a tub. I'm not sure. But here's where your cigarette sits. Ashes go down there. It is brass. It's just a novelty item. It's just one of those cool things that you put on your side table along with your wooden bowl that's been hand turned with your vintage matchboxes in there. So I just did a plug for 2 products that I already have in my Etsy shop. So how do you like them apples? Okay. Some people call me clever. Not a lot of people, but some people call me clever. All right. This is one of my favorite. Is it my favorite? It might be my favorite pickup of the week. I mean, don't get me wrong. This mirror was something special. I was like, I've got to get there early. Let me tell you that story. I was thinking, okay, this person that does estate sales, he does great prices. He loves resellers, which not everybody does, but he loves resellers, and he prices things accordingly. And he has really good advertisements. And he just did an estate sale this weekend for this house that was packed with 70s and mid-century modern items. Packed, okay? And so this mirror was one of the things. Plaques were another that I wanted to go. I'll show you those plaques. And I was like, I was planning on being 45 minutes early, but I went to an estate sale that was unexpected, that it was very good. I was not expecting it to be that good. And I lost track of time at that estate sale. I love when that happens. And so when I put in my GPS, I was a good bit away from the next estate sale. And I knew I was only going to be there 30 minutes early. And I was like, that's okay. 30 minutes early. It won't be too bad. Maybe I'll be like 15th in line. And I might not get everything I want, but maybe I'll get some things. No. That's not what happened. What happened was I showed up 30 minutes early and I was 100 people back. I kid you not. I was this close to taking a photo so I could insert it here so you could see, but then I didn't because I like to stay in the moment. Yeah, I was 100 people back. 100 people back. Easy. And then people kept arriving. And this house is not a big house. This house was out in the country, not a big house. They had a big garage with like a workshop and stuff. But yeah, I was like, oh, I'm not getting anything that I want. But the Lord had other plans. And I do not say that in jest. I mean that earnestly. Some people think that the universe, you put out to the universe and the universe gives you back, but I believe it's the Lord. So, yeah, I got almost everything I wanted, even though it's crazy. I didn't get into that house for, I don't even know how long. I had to wait in line, a very long line, to get into this house. And by the time you did get in the house, you couldn't move. There were so many people in there. But I went into the living room. I finally got into the living room and nobody was in there. Nobody was in the living room. I kid you not. I should have taken out my phone. I kid you not. Nobody was in there. I saw this mirror up on the wall and I was like, that's the mirror I want. Oh my word. And so I muscle it off the wall and I turned my head to the left. And there are all the plaques that I wanted right there on the wall. And it wasn't until I got my hand on the very last plaque, people started coming into the room. It was, I just say the Lord provided, and there's just nothing else to say other than that. I was dumbstruck. I was like, what just happened? I don't understand this at all. This makes no sense. This is not logical, because the living room looked untouched, like nobody had been in there. I can't explain it. All right. Well, I can explain it. I just did. Okay. I did pick this book up, Cooking Scandinavian, Shirley Sarvis and Barbara Scott O'Neill. I thought the graphics were really cute. I really liked those. And some people love to do decor with books. Like, how cute is that? Stop. So the book is in pretty good shape, but it's Scandinavian cooking and it's got little illustrations in there. And I thought it was darling. And so I picked it up. So this was a pickup today. Knott's Berry Farm cookbook. I've never been to Knott's Berry Farm, but I've heard of Knott's Berry Farm. So I knew that it was probably a popular book, but they just have all these different recipes in here of, here's the index, 1981. Somebody wrote in it, February 1981. The house that I went today where I purchased this originally came out in 76. But yeah, 1981. Here is the Knott story. There's the contents for you. The lady's house that I went to today, she and her husband were avid artists. Like, they painted on ceramics. It was really quite something to see. So they had a whole room, a huge studio in their house. It was very lovely. But she and her husband also loved to entertain. You should have seen this library. Shelves and shelves and shelves of books like this. You probably could have found a cookbook from every country. I kid you not. It was really something to see. So between cookbooks and painting books and how to draw books and all of that, it was a very special library, an overwhelming library. There's no way I could have gone through all of it. So I just picked up some things, including this one. This is the Mustard Seed Garden Manual of Painting, translated from the Chinese and edited by I can't speak Chinese. So this just looked interesting to me. And it's in pretty good shape. So I picked it up. I love seeing the characters. I can't read them. The fundamentals of painting. Maybe that's what those characters say. The fundamentals of painting. I just thought it was really pretty. Okay, so I picked those items up. I'm trying to move some things out of the way so I can get to my favorite pickup. I think it's my favorite pickup. Okay, let's see if I can do this without breaking something. Oh, I'm pretty much klutzy. I think you guys have seen that. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. This was the most expensive thing that I purchased, but it cost me $9.80. Okay. So this, I believe, is a turn of the century curio cabinet. You see the glass on the sides? Made out of mahogany. This isn't veneer. This is actually made out of mahogany. I believe it's mahogany. When I talked to the man that I purchased it from at the estate sale, I said, what kind of wood is this? Is this walnut? He goes, no, ma'am, that's mahogany. So I am trusting his word when he says that it's mahogany. But it has, I don't know if you can see, it's got the very old nails in here that have put it together. These are not modern nails. These are old nails. These were added, the little brackets to hang it, they were added later, obviously. Those were added later. But let me show you the back. Just the warmth of the wood, the tonal, it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I'm not saying that the white knob is original. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it is just a porcelain. It's just a porcelain knob right here. It's just a porcelain knob. And it does open, but I don't have a lot of space to show you. So that is my big pickup from this weekend. And I'm in love. I'm in love with this thing. So many things you could do with this, right? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this back here. Is that going to be a bear to ship? Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not looking forward to shipping that. I'm not. However, I get kind of excited at the idea of somebody coming into the shop and seeing something that they love, something that they've been looking for, or something that they think this will be perfect in that space. Or I remember when I saw this in my grandmother's house, or fill in the blank. I love the idea of somebody coming in and finding something like that, and I'm able to get it to them. I love that. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about these plaques. These are vintage Burwood as well. This was the other thing that I saw that I really wanted. I believe these kind of look like parrots, don't they? Okay, and then we have ducks. Herons? Look how beautiful. And swans. This is what it looks like on the back. Here's your indentation, your hangers up here. Okay, so the question is, should I list them individually or should I list them as a set? Do I keep the set together or do I list them individually? I could see where somebody might just purchase one. I could see where a set of them would be overwhelming. You know, I could see that. What do you think? If you have any thoughts, put them down in the comments. I would love to see what you think. And who knows if these will be up by the time you give me your comments. So your comment might actually really help me in knowing what I should do. Okay. I picked this up. This has a hanger here. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my word. So it's quite a bit bigger than this one. You see? Same house, by the way. Quite a bit bigger, but it's just a different style, right? And then you've got this sweet little flower in the center. Stop. Oh my word. I love it. Okay, that's what the back looks like. All right. I'm going to have to start using my oven. Here is the second bell that was hanging. This has more of a fruit motif. So we've got grapes and strawberries. What do you think that is? A pear, cherries. We got cherries down here. And yeah. So I have 4 children. 3 of them still live here. So, and a husband. Let's see which one it is. I think it's my son. It is indeed my son. My oldest son. Okay. This is an apothecary scale. Okay. when I saw this, I walked in the room and I saw this and I was like, that is beautiful. So this is brass and it's got a wood base and it is made in Italy. Made in Italy. Look at the little round brass feet. Stop it. This is so beautiful and a point of interest. So I paid up for this one, but let's remember I paid $9.80. Not even close. Not even close. I paid up for this one. Not as much as that one, but I definitely paid up for it. This came from the exact same house as that one. So lovely brass features with the chain, the scale here. I just thought it was sculptural and it was beautiful, really beautiful. And the wood on the bottom, I thought it was really beautiful. Do you see this little hole here? Look at that little hole there that's in the wood. Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah, anyways, very excited about this piece. Would look great in a library, I think. Would look really beautiful in a library or something like that. All right, I picked up Raggedy Ann and Andy. These are Knickerbocker. Raggedy Ann, I'm sorry, Knickerbocker, stop it. Kinderbocker. There you go. So she's pretty old. Raggedy Ann here. She's looking a little raggedy. Raggedy Ann and Andy. He's got his little sailor hat on. I thought they were really cute. So I picked them up and I really liked their size. This is like perfect for being a shelf setter, right? It's not a huge plush or anything like that or a huge doll. It's a sweet little shelf sitter. She does have some damage on her little foot. I might be able to stitch that up, but we all know how I feel about fixing things up to sell them. I will probably just list it and I will photograph that so everybody knows there's a little bit of damage to her foot. But anyone who can use a needle and thread, it looks like it's ripped along the seam. So it should be able to be fixed and repaired, no problem. All right, so there's Raggedy Ann and Andy. Okay, I purchased 2 of these from the same house. This is different. This doesn't have the flower per se in the center. This is lacquered, do not polish. That's what it says, made in India. This is what the back looks like. But this is lacquered, a lacquered ribbon. Isn't that pretty? It is. It is pretty. I love it. All right. So I purchased these from the same place I got the curio cabinet and the same place that I bought the scale from. I'm not exactly sure what these are. Okay, so they're beaded on the front, beaded stockings, and they have this satin, and it actually is a stocking. So I don't know if it is like you put it on a plate with like a name tag, or maybe you have the napkin coming out the top of it, if it's like a plate decoration. But I did buy 4 of them in the white and gold, and I just thought they were really sweet. So I picked those up, and we might as well do the red ones while I'm at it. I picked up some red. This one has a little bit of coloring staining, which I haven't tried to get out. The little red with the white snowflake, and then the red satin back. And then they do open. So purchase those. How cute are those? All right. So I got those. Picked this up at the Antique Mall in Mississippi. This is an original. If I can remember her name, I want to say her name was Judy. Judy had several pieces of artwork in this Antique Mall. So it is an original watercolor of a pear, and it was matted with this red fabric and then this red painted like lacquered bamboo. How sweet is that? There's her signature right there. How sweet is that? And then it has wrapping paper on the back, and then it hangs by the ribbon. Or like I had it, I purchased this today. Beautiful little easel. Sometimes you need a little easel, right? For things like this. So pick that up. Loved it. Love the still life. She did a very good job. Love the red, the pop of red. You know what they say about red, right? That every room should have a pop of red. That red elevates every room. So I was like, a little pear watercolor, why not? So this is actually the easel. So you can see an up close of it. It's very pretty. Okay. This was also purchased at the Antique Mall in Mississippi on Wednesday. I purchased 2 of them because they are different colors. This is darker than this one. I love the shape, and if you have a window or a shelf near a window, like a windowsill or something, wouldn't this look beautiful? Okay, so green is my favorite color. I love green. Green is like life to me. It reminds me of life and vitality and vibrancy. But I really love this. It doesn't say anything special on the bottom that I know of. I'm not a glass collector, but I love the shape and I love the color. I'm here for a green moment. So that's why I got them. All right, so there's those items. Picked up a few more books today. The Boston Cooking School Cookbook, Fannie Merritt Farmer. So I thought that this would be a beautiful kitchen decor book. It is an antique. It is from, look at that handwriting. Okay, so there's a little bit of wear on the binding. Look at the handwriting inside. This book is from, let me give you the copyright, 1914, Boston, 1914. The first one was 1896. That's kind of cool. All right, so this cookbook is an antique. It is 100 years old. And it's in good shape. Like you can open it up and the binding stays together. It's just this opening here. It's obviously weak there. So I would just be careful with that. But beautiful book right there. We'll put this over here in this pile. All right, and then I picked up Meta Given's Modern Encyclopedia of Cooking. Let's see what year. Look at the yellow. Isn't that cool? I love that. Love those graphics. Enjoy sharing my book as I do my friends, asking only that you treat them well. See them safely home. Oh my word, that's her book. Oh, that's her name. Those are the names of the people that I went to their house today. Irma. It's beautiful. Okay. Copyright. This one's 1959. The original came out in 1947. This is also in really good shape. Here you go. And ironically, was it this one or was it this one? No, it was this one. Modern Encyclopedia of Cooking. I thought it would be funny to come up with a short that said, I haven't done a short yet. I was dreaming. I was like, oh my word, what if I get this and I come up with a short looking up how to fold in the cheese. Fold in the cheese. Do you guys know that reference? Let me know if you know that reference. But fold in the cheese. And, he's like, if you say fold in the cheese one more time. And then I found out maybe 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I was on Facebook and I found out that Catherine O'Hara had passed away today, who is one of the actors in that scene. So we are going to miss her. Very talented, very talented. Yeah, that was very sad. Reading that news, that was very, very sad. But I thought it's so interesting that I was thinking of her scene because of this book. and wondering if folding in the cheese was in here. So maybe I'll look it up and I'll tell you if it's actually in here or not. So there's that book, which would be great for decor. Look at the spine. Isn't that cool? Appetizers, beverages, volume 1. Ooh, she probably had more. Irma probably had more than this one. I am not going back out tomorrow. I've spent $588. Like, I'm done. I need to make some sales. Okay, the New York Times cookbook. Look how beautiful that book is. It's beautiful. Harper and Row. It is, let me see, 1961. I always love it when the cookbooks have writing in them. What do you like that or not? It just shows history and life. And I enjoy that. If somebody has like notes in the margins or something. But here you go. That's it. The book stays together nicely. I don't think there's any binding issues. It's definitely older, 1961, but there's no issues or anything. So the New York Times cookbook. All right, this book, oh my word. Noah's Ark. I'd never seen this book before in my life. And it is stunning. It's stunning. Ooh. Okay. Foxes. Okay, let me flip to another page for you because they're not all that. I think it's different works of art. Oh man. That one's actually a picture of Noah's Ark, I think, in the storm. And then you've got the bird over here. Let me show you another picture. Like, we could just go through this book. This book is what? And of course, with this one, you cannot chat at all. That's for sure. It's pointing to a snail. Okay, so here's pictures of dogs and horses. You see the little snail? So it's just different artwork. It has its dust jacket. The dust jacket has obviously seen better days. Oh, let's see what the copyright is. See how it's got some tears, but it does have the dust jacket. This says, it's got a little note on the inside. It says Judy. I'm sorry, July 9th, 1988. Happy 49th anniversary. That's adorable. 240 pages, including 223 illustrated in full color. The animals drawn and painted by the famous Dutch artist and naturalist Reen. I'm just gonna butcher names. I'm so sorry, guys. This is not my wheelhouse. Reen Portevellet. They are admired all over the world. So it's one artist. He's fantastic. Let me get you the copyright. Originally published under De Ark van Noach, 1985. This one was 1986. So this book is 1986. Which makes sense, right? It was given in 1988. All right. So there's that book. That's going to actually be hard to give up, if I'm being quite honest, because we homeschool and, oh my word, there's a name for it. There's a name for sitting around the table with tea or coffee with your children or with anybody, and you talk about art, or art in all its forms, whether it's a ballet or paintings or music. Oh my word, what is the name? It's got a name. You sit around the table and you talk. about art. It'll come to me. It just isn't going to come to me this second. All right, I would love to show you this table runner. Let me get that off of it. So I have this beautiful, beautiful tapestry table runner. Look how beautiful that is. She had it on the buffet in her dining room. This side has a tassel. This side does not have the tassel. So there's that. Beautiful, right? It's got striped fabric on the back. It's very thick. It's like a thick piece. So very elegant, I think. Very elegant. What is it called when you do that? It starts with an S. All I can think of is stenographer, and that's just not the word. Oh my word. Okay, I picked up another one of these with a little flower in the center. Hi there. Yes, you're right. I am dressed differently. This is a different day. Unfortunately, the rest of the haul was sort of like a silent film. There was no sound. So I wasn't able to do a voiceover for multiple reasons. One, I don't know how. And two, it would have looked super weird talking over my talking head. So I opted to just do this outro for you to let you know that I'm so sorry that there was no sound. The good news is, though, that most things are up in the shop. So if you did see something you were curious about as I did the initial pan over shot, then head on over to the shops. They're linked in my description, and maybe I got them up. If not, they will be up soon. I've been very diligently chipping away at the pile. I'm very proud of myself. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm appreciative of you. And I'll see you on Wednesday with a What Sold. See ya.